Gullible young people, primarily, are saying that if you use this sound, good things will happen to you. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
All right, I want to talk about this thing, and I want to make it clear to start with that I am not disagreeing. It's going to sound for a minute like I'm disagreeing, but I'm really not. But I want to talk about that claim, if you use this sound, then something good will happen. So I've been studying symbolic logic recently, and there are some things in like formal logic that are really interesting and can be really difficult to like wrap your head around just because of the way that the formal logic approach to an idea intersects with natural language. And one of those things is if-then statements. Now, in colloquial English, in natural language, we think of if-then statements to generally be causal. Like, if you have the flu, then your nose will run is a causal claim. Like, that's saying that the flu is what's causing your nose to run. But that's not the only relationship if-then statements can have. It can go in the other direction. Like, if the DNA we found at the crime scene is yours, then you were the murderer. In that case, you didn't become the murderer because your DNA was at the crime scene. Your DNA was at the crime scene because you were the one who did the murder. There's common cause. Like, you could say if the food is fragrant, then the food is sour if you're talking about food that has lemon juice in it. Because the way you're checking for the sour is checking for the fragrance that would also have been caused by addition of lemon juice. And the way that this is handled in formal logic is that implication does not entail any kind of causal relationship. And one of the things we get out of that is that if a thing is true, then everything implies it. So like if you're doing a formal derivation and you have A, just like A on a line on its own, that means A is true, then you can introduce absolutely anything you want as if thing, then A. Because you know A, so you know that if any other thing were the case, A would be the case. You can say if not A, then A. Because if you know A is true, then everything, including its negation, implies it. And it's from that perspective that I want to look at the sentence, if you use this sound, then good things will happen to you. Because from a formal logic perspective, there's a very reasonable case to be made that that's true. Because good things are going to happen to you. So many things happen all the time. Some of them are going to happen to you, and some of the things that happen to you are going to be good. So that's true. It is true that good things will happen to you. And because it's true that good things will happen to you, everything implies that good things will happen to you, including if you use this song. It's also true of the negation of that. If you don't use the song, then good things will happen to you. And I want to be really clear right here that I'm not disagreeing with Kavatica. This isn't like a pedant thing. I'm not trying to gotcha. This is just another way to look at the same information and an excuse for me to talk about a thing I find interesting in formal logic. But yeah, you can use the sound. You cannot use the sound. It is true that good things will happen to you. That's just gonna happen.